Willkommen, bienvenue, and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be just a little bit different. So, I didn't feel like sewing this week. So, I decided it's time for a change. I didn't like the way my sewing area looked, so I decided it's time for a change. I went onto Amazon and I got some shelf paper. And this whole video is pretty much me either struggling with this or basically pulling it off without a flaw. So if that's your interest, go ahead and follow along, and if not, then have a great day. But if it is, go ahead and continue watching the video and watch me probably make a fool of myself. So here we go. So I'm not liking my setup. Wonder if I can change that. It just came in. I got it. Now to put it on. Yay.
It's so hard. Can we skip to the good part?
It doesn't really work that way.
What do you mean? I did the thing with the hand.
Yeah, no, that's not actually real.
It's not?
You have to actually finish it.
I do?
Yeah.
Ah, fuck.
Here's where I decided to just put it in fast forward time lapse, because y'all really don't need to see me clean off my desk. But this is pretty much the actual speed that this went in, so you can see how slow and tedious this sticky stuff is. That's how dirty it was. That's afterwards. So make sure you clean your area very well. So the main reason why I'm actually recovering this desk is because this surface is way too shiny and reflects light, and also reflects the camera right back in itself. So I'm going to dull it down and also keep it protected, because this is our dining room table that my husband has graciously let me use for my craft center. So, yay. Now I gotta, one, catch my breath, and two, size this thing out. I also need to find a squeegee, which I know I have one. Well, I don't know what I did with my squeegee. So, next best thing, I'm going to go with the Costco card. Actually, no, I need the Costco card. Let's do Barnes & Noble. Not the most even cut I've ever done in my life, but not the worst cut. So I want this to hang over enough to be able to make this into like it's an actual wooden table. Stress. Please tell me I have enough. And I do not. So okay, so I don't have enough to make it in one solid piece, but this space is approximately there. So if I get a pair of scissors out, and so it wasn't to size, but I measured out, and they do come with lines on the back. So I'm going to try and fight with this first. Because again, this is the end of the roll. It wants to do whatever the hell it wants to do. Jeebie creepy. Okay. And this is all I have left. So nobody's gonna see any of that stuff. So now to put everything back. All finished. Well, finished. So. Now, when I'm filming from above, it looks nice. And it still looks like natural wood, but it's not as reflective as the tabletop originally was. Also, it didn't cost me an arm and a leg to make something more visually aesthetic. And all I did was move around things I already had, and it looks more appropriate, except for what I just did right there. So, gotta remember not to push my sewing machine backwards, otherwise I'll put a dent in my table. But this way, when I'm actually showing off projects, you know, upcoming events, upcoming projects that I have organized, and secret projects that I need to start working on. But oops, I need to watch the edges of things. should have made it so that I could sweep things away without knocking into the things. So, for your purposes, I would recommend anything that's an overlap to make sure that the overlap is the other way around. So I should have done the short piece first, then the long piece. That way that these little seam lines, every time I hit them with something, they don't get peeled back up. So hopefully that's more of advice for you for future. So until the next project. So, recap. When working with shelf paper, make sure you clean your surface very well. Make sure you have a really, really sharp pair of scissors or a X-Acto knife so you can get around those corners. Also, take your time when it comes to it because it is a little bit tricky, but it is doable. So, one bit of advice I could say for this is that if you don't like your environment, change it. It doesn't cost very much to just move something around to make it more visually appealing to you. You're the one who lives there. You're the one who has to fall in love with it. If you don't love it, get rid of it. If you love it but want to change it up. I took a teapot and put some fake flowers in it for $3.99, and now I have somewhat of a new background. The shelf paper only cost me $7. Again, I could have gone to the Dollar Tree and spent maybe $3 and gotten enough to do the entire table, but I just was lazy and I wanted to get it done quickly. So it doesn't take much to change the small things, and what makes the small things makes you happy is what's more important. So if you don't like it, change it and make yourself happy, because you're living for you and not for somebody else. So hopefully that bit of advice comes through, and that this video wasn't too boring for you, and hopefully you come back. So until next time, tschüssi.